Salvation Army's Emergency Disaster Services has been serving the people of Canada since 1917, when two ships collided in the Halifax Harbour. Last year, the Salvation Army helped more than 15,000 Canadians during emergencies or when disaster struck. COVID-19 forced us to take extraordinary measures to ensure we met needs where they existed. For the first time in the history of our emergency disaster services, 29 of 48 community response units were active at the same time. While our response process changed to ensure volunteers and guests stayed safe, our dedication to helping people in their time of need didn't. The most visible Salvation Army Emergency Disaster Service is the meals and drinks served to disaster survivors and emergency first responders. In addition, and unique to the Salvation Army, is our emotional and spiritual care component, which is embedded in everything we do. Due to COVID-19, we knew we couldn't move personnel from place to place. Therefore, we ramped up our training program to increase our capacity to help. For the first time, our training program was made available virtually, and more than 400 volunteers and Salvation Army personnel participated. Due to an incredibly generous donation, our fleet of community response units across Canada increased, which helped us extend our reach. New vehicles were purchased and older ones were refurbished with new equipment that increased our feeding capacity. With cafes and community centers shut down, more hungry people were on the streets looking for help. Our mobile units served food and hydration to people who had lost their jobs, seniors on fixed incomes, people experiencing homelessness, and students whose schools had closed and would normally rely on our lunch programs. Our services were needed now more than ever. The pandemic left many vulnerable people without access to their most basic needs, such as food. Normally, our primary response is food service at disasters, such as floods and fires, lasting up to 2 weeks. Our COVID-19 support went for longer periods of time, using more personnel. Other hazards didn't stop because of the pandemic. The Salvation Army's preparedness and well-rehearsed emergency protocol enabled us to deliver fast, efficient services to help reduce the stress that vulnerable people already faced. Disasters can happen to anyone. I've heard countless stories from people who never would have believed they need the Salvation Army. When you support the Salvation Army, you're giving them hope for a better tomorrow.